Alright, so this is a recording of how to work on assignment number 13. This is also going to tell you how to work on a final exam project if you want to do it. This is the document that you're going to open. So if you click on it, it will open up into a new tab, and you want to pick Open Up with Google Docs. And before you try writing in it, you're going to have to go up to File and make a copy, and then put your name in it. So I'm going to call this Holland Example Buying Car, so that this is now your copy of it instead of my copy of it. You won't be able to write in the original one. So we are going to, let me just zoom in a little bit here. You know what? No, I won't. Okay, so we're looking at 3 different credit scenarios. So we just wanted to remind ourselves what the different credit scenarios are. So if you have a poor credit, your score is between 300 and 579. So 550 would be an example of a poor credit score. A good credit score is between 640 and 739. So let's just say 700. And an exceptional credit score is above 800 but below 850. So let's just say 836. That's all you have to do for that one. There's no wrong answer necessarily. We're just trying to remind you of this process. So what you need to do is to find a car. So I previously found a Toyota Highlander. It's a hybrid from 2008 with 100,000 miles, and it was listed for $13,000. So I'm going to use that car as what I want to buy. So to find the down payment, it is 20% of your car payment, or 20% of the total is what you want to have as a down payment, is the best financing. So $13,000 times 0.2, so let's type that in, $13,000 times 0.20 is going to equal $2,600. So that is going to be my down payment. So then how much money do I have to borrow? So $13,000 minus $2,600 means that I'm going to have a loan of $1,400. Okay, didn't need to retype that. So that is how much the car is going to cost. So I want to keep an eye on that number because I'm going to use that for all my calculations. But let's think about how much money we have to spend on a car. So the average minimum wage is $8.25, and if you work 40 hours a week, your monthly income is about $1,200. But based on what people suggest, you shouldn't spend more than 20% of your income on your car. So we're going to figure this out too. We're going to say times 20%. So 1200 times 0.2 is $240. So I should not spend more than $240 on a car. Question number 6 talks about, well, what other things do you have to do involving a car? Like, it's not just your car payment. You also have to have, gas and insurance and all kinds of things. So that's for you to fill in some things, that other costs that go with a car. The loan section, this is really the entire assignment, is you're going to use this website and you're going to plug in these different scenarios using different credits. So we said if you have a poor credit score, you probably have to pay 14% interest on your car loan. A good credit score may be 8, and an exceptional credit score may be 4. Now that changes. Obviously, we don't know that for a fact, but that's a good example. So I'm going to open up this loan calculator, and I'm going to rearrange things a little bit here so that I have 2 separate windows, and I can see both windows at the same time. so that we can do our loan calculation and fill in our form. So this is our loan calculator on the right. So, helps you determine the monthly payments on a loan. Simply enter the loan amount, the term, the interest rate in the fields below, and hit calculate. The calculator can be used for mortgage, auto, or anything. So my loan amount, we said, was $10,400. Okay? And now what we have to do is follow the instructions. So the instructions say, what would your monthly payment be if the term of the loan was 3 years? Okay, so this is 5 years. I'm going to change this to 3. Notice that it changed that to months. And we're using 14% credit, so I'm going to change this to 14% credit. Oops. Okay, hold on. This is 3. This is 14. And I'm going to hit calculate. And what that tells me is that my monthly payment, okay, what would your monthly payment be if I had a 3-year loan at 14%? So that is $355.45. I got that from here. Okay. Total principal paid, yes, that is how much I paid for the car, after the down payment. And then if we look at the next piece, it says total interest paid. So if I go back to our document, I see question 7 says, what's your monthly payment? But if I look at question 7a, it's how much interest would you pay? So what I'm going to use, I've already put in 3 years and 14%. So I can read from the right-hand side that my total interest is going to be $2,396.10. Okay. So now I'm going to change this and say, all right, well, what if I had good credit instead of poor credit? So instead of 14%, let's change this to be 8%. So I'm just going to change this bottom one because everything else is the same. I'm just changing it to what if I only have to pay 8%? Now I can see my payment is $325.90. So over here on the right, $325.90. And how much interest would I pay over the course of a loan? On the right-hand side, my interest is going to be lower. The interest is going to be $1,332.34. So if I go back over here to the right-hand side, left-hand side rather, I can see that if I have poor credit, I'm paying almost $400 in interest over that course of 3 years. But if I have good credit, I'm saving more than $1,000, right? I'm only paying $1,332. So if I can get a loan at 8%, that's a heck of a lot better than a loan at 14%. I'm saving myself $1,000 over the course of the 3 years. So now I'm going to change this to try when it's a 4% interest rate. What if I had good credit or exceptional credit? So on the right-hand side, I change the interest rate to calculate. Now my payment is $307.50. And my interest paid is now $653.78. So I've now finished question number 7. I filled in all of those different numbers. But what if instead of a 3-year loan, I could get a 4-year loan? What if I could take longer to pay it off? So we're going back to a 4-year loan at 14% credit. So back on the right-hand side, I'm going to change this loan in term in years to 4. And I'm going to change the interest to 14%. Hit calculate. Now I'm paying $280 or $284.20. So if I compare, I had a payment of, if I bought this car and I paid it off for 3 years, I paid $355 a month. But if I'm willing to spread that out longer and pay over 4 years, I can only have a payment of $284. So I'm saving $70-ish a month. So yes, that makes a difference, but what does that do with our interest? So the interest paid now, if I have a 4-year loan at 14%, the interest paid will be $3,241.38. So, comparing the interest, right? The interest that I paid in 4 years at 14% is $3,200, and I only paid $2,400 if I paid it in a 3-year loan at that interest rate. So I'm spending a lot more on interest if I go from a 3-year to a 4-year loan. So you're just going to continue with this process. And staying at 4 years, but now the credit is going to be good, and I'm going to have an 8% interest rate. So I'm going to change this to 8%, calculate, write down my monthly payment, write down my total interest paid. So you're going to finish up with the 4-year loan. You're going to do a 5-year loan, and then what we want you to do is go to this conclusion and think about it, okay? Can you afford this car? There's lots of different payment options. If you have good credit and you can pay it off fast, then maybe you can afford it, but maybe you can't for some other reason, right? And does this payment fit into the amount of money we said we could spend on a car? So we went back up here and we said that we were allowed to spend $240 a month on a car. Does that fit within our budget? Does the payment options that were given for this car fit within our budget? You can pick any car you want. It can be your dream car or it can be a starter car. This is to talk to you about the process, okay? There's no wrong answers, whatever car you pick, but what you need to do for the points is to fill in questions 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, and 12, okay? Go back and think about what your responses are. So this loan calculator is going to do all the math for you. You just need to type the answers into this worksheet. When you're finished, what you can do is create a sharing for it and say, like, anybody in Clark County can open it, so copy the link and then send it to me. Or if I go back to here, scroll down to the bottom where up at the top, sorry. I'm going to go to student view so you can see what this looks like. Start the assignment, and I'm going to upload a file, and I can add it from, choose a file. I can find it in my downloads if I did it, okay, like here's a buying a car download, or I could have got it from Google. If you're going to do that, you can pick Google Drive, and you can pick your file from there. So it should be in my recent stuff. Okay. Yes, attach it. If for some reason you cannot attach it, then you can essentially send me the link, right? So just submit assignment. Now it's going to show submitted. But that's how you're going to do this assignment, okay? It says it's done, new attempt. It says I've submitted it and it's late. So this is essentially the same process if you choose to do the final exam. Okay, you're using the same website. You're going to put in the loan amount. You're going to change the tone, the years and time, and the term of loan, and you're going to change the interest rate based on different calculations.